UK's air passenger tax, or APD, is the highest in the world. We're now paying almost 400% more than other travellers in Europe. Introduced in 1994, it began as a £5 per person tax on short-haul flights in the UK and Europe, and just £10 elsewhere. But campaigners say it is now pricing British families out of flying and discouraging tourists from visiting. In April, APD went up 8% and will rise again next year. This means right now, a family of 4 travelling to Europe is shelling out around £52 in tax, while those heading further afield to the Caribbean will have to pay £368. Do you think it's fair that we pay more airfare taxes than any other country in the world?
No, I think obviously British people are at a great disadvantage. Having said that, I must say I think there are many air flights which are unnecessary, in the sense that if we had cheaper train fares, people would be far more encouraged to take trains. For example, going to the continent, why do people fly to Paris or to Brussels? It's because it's cheaper by air, and that is ridiculous.
As an American, I've always noticed that there's so many budget airlines travelling from the UK that it's always seemed much cheaper to me to go to the continent from here. But I don't think it's fair if the taxes are specifically applied to UK citizens or to people who are travelling from here. I think that can create an imbalance between travel here and other European centres, and I think with the economy right now, probably you want to encourage as much travel as possible in and out, and taxes, as we all know, discourage things, so maybe not the best move.
I'm travelling from Austria, so I don't really mind, especially because I only have a hand luggage, but yeah, it's not really fair for the English people.
In response to the rises, a campaign called A Fair Tax on Flying was launched earlier this year. A group of around 30 airlines and tour operators are behind it, and they're demanding an end or reduction in APD. So far, they already have 100,000 signatures from people supporting the campaign. The government is also under pressure to act after 75 MPs added their names to a parliamentary motion calling for a review of APD.
Successive governments, including the current regime, have used the fact that not a lot of people are aware of the amount of tax they are paying to steadily increase the amount of air passenger duty, to the extent that now we do pay by far the highest levels of taxes to fly. The only way you can really avoid paying air passenger duty is, first of all, obviously not to fly at all, which isn't really an option if you want to go abroad unless you're going to Northern Europe. The other option you can do is, and we are seeing this for business people actually, because the tax is higher depending if you're going long haul. So one thing you can do is get a train or a short-haul flight into Europe, say to Amsterdam or Paris, because again, the levels of tax from those countries in Holland is 0, and in France it's very low. By doing that, particularly if you're a business person, you can actually save quite a lot of money, because the air passenger duty is double if you're flying in business class or first class. Probably very unlikely they'll axe air passenger duty, because they've said, you know, industry must pay its way in tax and we have to clear the deficit. But certainly they're intending to increase it. That's very foolish, and we think they should reduce it, certainly not increase it.
You can't get away with not paying APD, and that's why it's an easy way for the government to make money. However, the strength of the Fair Tax on Flying campaign just shows how pointless this tax really is, and will hopefully bring us one step closer of getting rid of it altogether.